I'm Teresa Goddard, a 21-year-old stay-at-home mom, and I love to learn. But I have always struggled with learning. I have always started out trying way too hard, spending hours at a time on one subject, and never giving myself a break. Then I would eventually become exhausted and give up, which would lead to me procrastinating, then cramming, just memorizing the information instead of actually learning it. I would read a textbook like a novel and try to understand each part fully before moving on. And the reason for this was simply because I did not know how to learn. Now, I'm not saying these are the only factors to my problems. I probably could go on for hours about this subject. But for this purpose, I'm only stating a few. I do want to mention before I move on that I believe a lot of these problems resulted in high school. Every day you are bombarded with homework, assignments, and readings from 6 or more different subjects, so you don't have enough time to actually learn the information. And this way makes you focus on the product, not the process. You're just focusing on getting the answers instead of actually understanding the information. But if you know how to learn, it would be easier to understand it better. Since taking this course, I have learned a lot and found out how I could and can help myself. Here are some things I should have done. Focused and relaxed, used spaced repetition. When reading chapters in a text, focused on the main topics first, not just the details. Got an initial sense of what was going on and recalled the information. And of course, interleaved. Alright, so I'm going to go into detail about these subjects. First, when learning, you want to focus and relax. This is because you have two different modes of thinking. There is the focused mode and the diffuse mode. The focused mode of thinking is an intense concentration that you need to work out a problem, using things that you already know. The diffuse mode of thinking is a relaxed state of thinking, basically where your subconscious takes over and does the thinking for you, and then all of a sudden, the answer is there. This is basically like stepping back and taking a look at the big picture and making connections. This mode helps you with learning something new, where you can make connections with things you already know to get a better understanding. There are a lot of creative people out there who have used this mode of thinking to come up with some amazing things, including Dali Salvador, Thomas Edison, Mark Twain, and J.K. Rowling. Second, I should have used spaced repetition instead of trying to learn it all in one night. The problem I had would also relate to interleaving. I would focus on one subject for the whole time instead of going back and forth to others to make connections. Spaced repetition is spreading out your practice over an amount of time. You will create better neural structures if you practice a little bit each day or every other day instead of all day for one day. Your brain is a muscle, just like the other muscles in your body. When you're exercising, you need to do a few reps, take a break, do a few reps, take a break. You're not supposed to do 100 in one session. If you do, you could hurt yourself. But on the other hand, you're not working yourself hard enough if you can do 100. You're not doing it right. You need to do a little over time, just like when you exercise. Interleaving is going back and forth between different subjects, problems, or techniques to make connections between everything to get a better understanding of the big picture. Fourth, when reading textbooks, you should get an initial sense of the chapter. Beforehand, go through and read the headings. This will help you get a better understanding of what you're going to be doing. Try to understand the main points first, then go back to fill in the details. Also, as I mentioned, interleave and go back and forth to understand it all as a whole. And after reading, you should recall what you have read. With the book closed, this will help you better ingrain the material into your brain. These are a few things that I have learned that helped me out a lot in my life. I wanted to talk a bit about mindset. When I read this, it got me thinking about which one am I? There are two mindsets. Fixed mindset, where a person believes they are as smart as they are going to get, and the abilities they have are what they have, and usually they try to prove that they're smart, and really try not to look dumb. On the other hand, a growth mindset is someone who believes they can get smarter and gain new abilities with practice. They focus more on the process, which fixed mindsets usually focus on the product. This brings me back to about 7th or 8th grade. I am pretty sure I had a fixed mindset. I did the homework and that's really it. I didn't try to learn. Didn't realize I could or that I had to. So I did okay in most classes, like I said before, memorizing the information, but I never did great on tests. At this point in time, I didn't even try to learn the information. But in about the end of 10th grade, somewhere in my mind something changed, and I thought maybe I can learn new things if I try. So that was the start of me having a growth mindset. But I still struggled to learn. Even when I was trying, I ended up resorting back to my old ways. And this was, like I said, because I just did not know how to learn. This has been the story of my life until I found this class. Before I tie this up, I want to share what I did for the class to get what I believe is a full understanding. First off, I would watch the lectures, then recall what I could remember, and go over it in my head. Then relax and do other stuff, and then the next day or two, I'd watch the lectures again and take notes, and I could already feel a better understanding and be able to make connections to other things I already knew. Then, over the next days, think about the assignment and or discussion forums, and once I felt I understood the information, I would rewrite my notes into more organized ones. Then, once that was done, and I felt I understood the information without looking at anything, I would take the quiz. I cannot get over how amazing this course is. I want to thank Barbara Oakley and Terry Sinofsky so much for giving us all a chance to learn how to learn. I also want to thank everybody who has helped put this course together with anything they've done. Thank you, thank you, thank you.